the end of each year, I'm always looking for new ideas, little ways to keep things feeling fresh creatively. And this coming year, I've decided to make a small change to my landscape photography kit. Now, I'm hoping this is going to push me towards capturing images that maybe look and feel a little bit different from what I've been shooting over the last 12 months. Anyway, I'll talk more about that a little bit later on in the video. But this location here, I think, is going to be pretty amazing. So happy Christmas, I do hope you're enjoying the festivities. Now this stretch of coastline here is really dramatic, especially on a day like today where we've got low angle of sun due to the close proximity to the winter solstice, and also some pretty decent low level cloud coming through as well. Lots of mist, some big seas as well. So it's going to be really dramatic and I can't wait to see what photos we can capture today. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing what we can find. Should be great, I think. So I really like this little cove down here. I think it's absolutely amazing. We've got some sea caves. The water is rushing up over the top of the cliff edges as well, which I think is absolutely incredible. Now, the reason I chose this stretch of coastline today is because it's pretty much south facing. And this time of the year, the sun is rising in the southeast and setting in the southwest, meaning it's going to get light all day, providing we don't get any heavy cloud cover, of course. Now, I think I might try and set a shot up here, looking down towards the cove, and maybe revisit it later on if it turns out to be a good composition. So yeah, let's go and set one up. Wow, this is such a dramatic coastline, it really is, and the light here is absolutely beautiful. It's just soft enough for it not to be too contrasty. Now what I've done, I've set the camera up, I've put my standard zoom lens on, and I've got the polarizer on and a 3-stop filter. And that is because I want to show just a fraction of movement in the water, and that's given me an 1/8 of a second at f8. So yeah, I'm just showing a little bit of movement as that water rushes over the rocks and splashes up the cliff edges, which I think just helps to make it not too texture heavy. Focal length, I'm at 23mm here on the XH2. I've got the shutter release cable on, and that's just allowing me to get my timing just right as the water rushes over the rocks. I think in compositions like this, when you've got a lot of movement and the water is changing a lot through the scene, it can really make a big difference to how the composition feels. Just having a splash of white water in a particular part of the scene can have a big overall impact on how the image looks. I'm just taking quite a few shots here. Maybe I'll take 20 or 30 different shots of this scene, and then when I get back I'll pick the best one. What an absolutely amazing spot. Right, let's take this image. I moved a little bit further around the coastal path, about half a mile or so, and I've come across another little cove here that looks absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. It's incredible. There's a rock formation right in the middle, which is like a triangle shape with a hole right the way through it. And I think it's really, really cool. I definitely want to take a shot here. Now what I'm thinking is it might work really well for a sunset shot, because as that light comes further around to the west, I'm hopeful that the light will come through that hole a little bit more and make the image a little bit more dramatic and moody. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I think this is definitely one for later on. Before I get into this new piece of photography equipment, I just wanted to quickly mention that I've recently released a brand new ebook. Inside I share how I approach landscape photography from a technical point of view, everything from setting up the camera in the field right through to more advanced techniques like focus stacking, using filters and shooting panoramas. It's just over 90 pages and includes more than 100 of my latest images, all used to help explain my complete in the field workflow. So if you fancy taking a look and digging a bit deeper into how I work, you can find the link in the video description below or scan the QR code on the screen. All of the revenue from the books goes straight back into the channel, helping me get out to new locations and to continue sharing these experiences with you. So thanks in advance if you do check it out. So of course we're going to be heading back down there for sunset in just a minute, but I thought I'd show you this lens first and also, more importantly, get some lunch on the go. The question is, will I get this finished before that massive rain cloud comes and completely soaks everything? To cook the bacon and egg sandwich. I ended up having to bring everything in here in the end because of the gusting wind, but I'm really looking forward to that. And of course, brown sauce has to be done, doesn't it? And keeping with the festive spirit, I've gone with a mince pie with a nice sprig of plastic holly and a sprinkling of ice and sugar that mostly ended up on the floor due to the gusting 25-mile-an-hour winds. But yes, I'm going to tuck into that in just a second, but I just want to talk about the lens choice that I'm swapping out, or the lens that I'm swapping out. So if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that my wide angle lens of choice has been this, the 13mm Viltrox 1.4, which is great. It's very versatile, great for astro as well. It's in a lot of light, but I've found on occasion it's not quite wide enough for me. And I now have the 16 to 50 standard zoom lens in my kit bag, which means it's quite a similar focal length, 16, 13, not a huge difference. But anyway, I've decided to swap it out for this, the 9mm Air, I think it's called, f2.8, again by Viltrox. Very light, probably about a third of the weight of the other one there. Bit plasticky feeling, so it's a lot cheaper, but only a couple of £100. You can pick these up quite cheaply. And I think it's going to be, give me some different opportunities, if you like, going forward. 9mm is about something like 13mm if you're on full frame. So really, really wide angle field of view. So I think it'd be really good for seascapes. Now, it's not weather sealed, but neither is the Viltrox lens that I've got there. So yeah. Yeah, on a few occasions over the last 12 months, I found myself having to shoot panos because the 13 wasn't wide enough. So I think this will be a great addition to the kit bag, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what images we can capture, because I don't really have that many really wide angle shots in my portfolio or the gallery on my website. So yeah, super interested in trying this out. Really light, hardly weighs anything, which again is a massive bonus. Anyway, let's get into this egg and bacon sandwich before we get back out on the trail and hopefully, if this storm passes, capture a few sunset photos. Happy Christmas. So I'm really looking forward to the next couple of hours. I think it's going to be very interesting indeed. Some incredible weather coming through, so it should be interesting. Now, if you're not from the UK or you're not familiar with the mince pie, it's a bit of a Christmas delicacy, if you will. A very sweet pastry filled with fruit, and I absolutely love them. I think it's the best thing about Christmas, to be honest. Just my opinion. I try to have at least one a day through the festive period. Why not, eh? Yeah, do let me know if you have mince pies in the country you're from. I'd love to know. Oh, the wind, the wind. Oh, the wind has definitely picked up. Right. Walked a little bit further along the coastal path from where I saw that composition earlier of the triangular rock with the hole in it. I'm basically the other side of it now, looking down the coast, and I'm so glad that I just put in this extra sort of 400 or 500 meters, because this view of it is absolutely incredible, and I think it really suits the lighting right now as well. And also the tide is just right as well. It's washing around this little bay here. I think if I leave it a little bit later on, maybe won't be so much water in the bay here, so I don't think it will really suit the composition as well. So I'm definitely going to take a shot here. The light is amazing. There's so much drama and mood. Just look at this. Absolutely incredible. Just breathtaking. So I'm going to continue to shoot this while I talk to you, because the power of these waves is absolutely incredible, and I'm just waiting for the big sets to roll through and crash over these rock formations. And I'm trying to show again a little bit of motion similar to the shot I took earlier. I'm at 1/10 of a second with the polarizer on and also the 3-stop filter. I'll just take a few now. So those waves splash over those rocks. Incredible, yeah. So yeah, it's just showing a little bit of movement in the water, and I'm having to be really careful with my highlights here, even though the histogram is telling me everything is fine. When I zoom into the image and look at the white water, because the light's hitting it, it's overexposed. So I'm just erring on the side of the caution with my histogram. I think when you're shooting waves such as this, with the lights catching them, it can be very, very challenging. I think that's mainly to do with the fact that when you're looking at your histogram on your LCD, it's looking okay, but as the white water hits the rocks, obviously there's more light being reflected off of that water, and you're not necessarily seeing it at the time that it happens. So yeah, I'm running out of words to describe it. It's just purely breathtaking, it really is. And the light is so soft and diffused. It's that light you just wish for when you're out at the coast. It's just absolutely incredible. If I'm being picky, I'd like a little bit more cloud detail in the sky, but maybe that'll happen a little bit later as we move through the evening. But yeah, this is a good image, I think, to get in the bag. I framed it up 4x3, which I think just helps eliminate some of the, I guess, boring space on the right-hand side of the image, which is just mainly taken up by the ocean. So yeah, we've definitely got a continuation of cliffs running through the shot, and I think that works really well for this. So here's another one now. This looks like it's going to be a good one. Keep taking shots. 1/10 of a second, f8, ISO 125. Oh, that light. So it's clouded over quite a bit since that last shot. Light is poking through out that way, and I'm pretty keen to try this wide-angled lens. So I'm going to work my way around this little area here, shooting back towards the light, so the opposite way in which we were just shooting, to see, yeah, if we can't make something really. The tide has receded quite a bit, it's dropping quite fast, and that little bay down there with the triangular rock with a hole is now pretty much dry. So yeah, I'm going to head down here and see what we can work out down here. It's a little bit tricky though. Right. So I wanted to put the wide angle lens on, like I mentioned earlier, to give it a go, but it doesn't really feel like the right scenario to do that. So I've got the standard zoom lens on at about 23mm. And actually, most of the images we've taken today have all been around that focal length, haven't they? Which is quite interesting. Maybe it's just the location, or maybe just the conditions. Who knows? I think maybe if I had a bit more time here with the light, I would have experimented with a wide angle lens. But typically I think a wide angle composition does take quite a bit longer to set up. So that's something to keep in mind for the coming year, giving myself a bit more time if I do want to shoot super wide. Now, there's a big bank of cloud out on the west coast. Really thick band of it, and the light is just above it right now, and we're getting some nice diffused light coming through this bay here, and I'm shooting straight towards the light. So basically what I'm going to have to do is bracket this shot. What an absolute beautiful spot though, and I'm really enjoying this, and I think actually the light is probably at its best right now. I've got the 2-second timer on. Let's go and take this shot. Wow, I just wasn't expecting that. I'd pretty much packed up. The camera was just going into the bag when all of a sudden the light broke through the cloud, and I really wasn't expecting it. So I thought, why not get the wide angle out and give it a go? So I quickly swapped the lenses over, put the wide angle lens on, and I've just framed a shot up here. I'm not sure whether my composition's 100% how I would have it if I had a bit more time, but I've really just framed the sun up maybe towards the top third and allowing this craggy coastal cliff faces to sort of sweep around in a big arc towards the light. Right, quickly, let's take the shot. Oh my word, what a day. brutal, this wind, it's brutal. Oh. So we're still glowing out here. It's incredible. About 30 minutes after sunset, the clouds are still pink. It's absolutely incredible. And like I mentioned, I just wasn't expecting that at all. My camera was going in the bag. I was heading back to the van. I was wrapping the video up, and then all of a sudden, yeah, it just kicked off. What a spectacular end to the day. Wow, just unreal. Hopefully I did it justice. I really wanted to try out this 9mm lens to give it a go, and maybe my compositions weren't 100%, but it was just good to give it a go and give it a try. It's actually the lens that's filming me right now. I haven't taken it off the camera, so hopefully the autofocus is doing okay and it's actually focusing on my face and not somewhere out there in the middle of the ocean, which does happen occasionally. Yeah, what an end to the day. Absolutely brilliant. I do hope you enjoyed this festive episode. If you did, you might like the one that's at the top here. And also on the other side, there's a link to my photography tours. Now, myself and Henry Turner are constantly putting on new tours throughout 2026. So please be sure to go and check that link out if you're interested in joining up with us for a multi-day photography adventure somewhere here in the UK. Anyway, until next time, take care.